You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's The Newsroom After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's The Newsroom After Show.
Hello, everyone. Bing is for doing, and we are here doing another amazing after show for The Newsroom. We are in Season 2, Episode 8, Election Night, Part 1. I am your host, Kelly, and with me is...
John Comerford.
And we've got...
Tamara Berg filling in for Sarah Mendoza, who's out this week.
And we have a very special guest in the house with us, taking over, filling in for Kristen tonight.
Taking over. You can say taking over.
Yes.
Chris Chalk, who you know as Greg.
Gary Cooper.
Gary Cooper. Why did I say
Cooper.
Greg? Oh my gosh.
Yes, and he will be taking over. We're sure of that. So we're going to be stepping out very shortly.
I know. So this was an amazing episode. Lots of great stuff going on.
It's very exciting. I mean, this is almost better than watching real election nights because we got all the other stuff with it.
I know.
We get to see the behind the scenes.
Oh, I know. I was really excited when they start cutting in. They're going to go do the coverage and the whole thing with Charlie setting up the, getting the forces together. We got 3 minutes, and it was just exciting.
No, I loved every part of it. It was really good, and I liked seeing the girls on the panel and how they were heckling Elliot in the green room, and that was pretty funny. And it's just like a lot of good banter and a lot of good chemistry on the show tonight. And I like that Jim and Hallie are still together, and that's still kind of playing out.
Hallie, a.k.a. Meryl Streep.
Okay, Meryl Streep.
You know anything but Meryl Streep when I see her.
You know when I think the show, as a fan of the show,
Yeah.
I think the show is the best in episodes like this,
Yeah.
right? It's like we're past all the clues and the sarin gas, and now everything's urgent. Everything gets settled. And that dude, Aaron Sorkin, is like the greatest juggler of all time.
No kidding.
Because he had 45 balls in the air this episode, and there was not a pause.
Yeah.
It was just
Yeah, the
efficient
pacing was
writing.
great.
Just efficient.
Pacing was good.
I love watching Aaron Sorkin shows so much, but a lot of the times I have to not watch them and just listen to them because there's so much information going on. I was doing that a lot tonight. I was looking at the floor and just listening and writing notes just to make sure that I was getting it on. And then I go back and watch it a second time to enjoy
And then you're
it.
like, oh, I get it
Oh,
now.
I totally missed that facial expression. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking to that point, there's so much going on, and you had mentioned earlier that you weren't exactly sure you remembered it all.
It's true. And then you watch it and you're like, now you see why I couldn't remember it all.
Exactly. That's my
everything's
point.
going on.
Yeah, there's so much happening.
But I swear, it's the best when you have the full ensemble. I mean, you had, what was that, like 30 characters in this episode, and everybody had something important to say. And who else can do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know? He's really good.
And I like that there's some really serious stuff going on, and then the comic relief that's in there, that it just really makes you laugh, and the way that the characters talk, and even though they have the way that he writes in these kind of long monologues, there's still a lot of really funny stuff that lightens the mood of it all, even though you know it's like a really serious discussion that they're having. And I just like the flow of it and the way that it kind of goes.
And I wanted to speak to something. Since we have you in studio, I want to ask this. Jason Ensler was the director of this, and you have so much information. So how much time do you actually have to get this thing done? Because there's so much dialogue and so much stuff.
You mean how much time we have to learn it?
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, how is it a week schedule? You do it in a week? How?
Oh, no, usually
shoot
about
the episode.
8-9 days.
8-9 days.
8-9
Okay.
days. And actually, we're pretty strict with 8-9 days, I got to say. You know.
And how does that fare with, because you've been on Justified. You've been on plenty of other TV shows.
Oh, shows are so different. You never know. Justified, it's a completely different collaborative project.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like Timothy Oliphant runs an incredible, I mean, he works so hard on making the script perfect.
Right.
Whereas Aaron makes the script perfect at home.
Right.
And when you see it on the page, that's pretty much how it's going to be.
It's
I mean, this episode, it's never this way, but like, in the part where Elliot was doing the teleprompter.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. He was like, I didn't know I had to learn this whole thing because you cut away from me. And they're like, no, you're in the background. So you have to keep going. And so it was the best day because he's tripping over stuff and he never paused. He read the whole thing on a teleprompter and never paused. And at the end of the day, we're all like, okay, you're the man. You're pretty much the man because that's the closest you'll get to improvising in Aaron's scripts is reading his words from a teleprompter.
Now since you mentioned Oliphant and Justified, how much is improvising there? Because I know they figure out a lot on set and they say, what about this? What about that?
I don't think it's so much improv as impulse. You know, it's like everybody talks about it. Timothy, he's so generous. He called beforehand and he was like, you know, is there anything you want to get in there? Do you see the character? Is there anything that doesn't ring true to you? And so there's this whole just creative world. And the newsroom is creative as well. It's just creative in the complete, but it's done. Right. Like you know your character, you know pretty much how to say it, when to say it, where to say it. Whereas Justify was just so much inspiration and collaboration, which means longer days, but I think they're super inspiring days.
Yeah. That's what I was
loved
wondering.
it.
We had David Meunier here when we were doing the Justified this last season, and he talked about that a lot too, about the creative process on that set was really, really enjoyable to work with.
It's like ideal. Okay. You know, because it's what we get paid to do. We get paid to act and create and collaborate, and so it's really fun when someone's like, "You have an opinion as an actor." You're like, "I do." I do.
I've been waiting for you to ask.
Oh my God, I have so many.
Yeah, right. So on the newsroom, that's a different situation because it's all done ahead of time.
On the newsroom,
you got to hit the mark. You got to say it. You got to get that thing.
Yeah, like Justified is like jeans and a t-shirt. Newsroom is like formal wear. You know what I mean? Like you can relax on Justified and you still look good. You look amazing and it's still high quality stuff. Newsroom is like you really have to like do as you're told. Which isn't a bad thing.
No.
It's actually also comfortable.
It's highly orchestrated.
Exactly. It's all this. It's this machine that's very carefully, you know, orchestrated, as you say, and hit this there and.
Yeah, and they know how long they want the episode to be.
Oh yeah.
So your beat has to be a certain amount. They don't. I mean, like no one sits there and says that. Well, that's not true.
That's the
We've been told the beat is too long. Again, that's why you end up in episodes like this where you can juggle, 360 characters and all that dialogue and get all this information and still leave, exhausted but having had fun.
That's why the pacing is so high. And that's why when we're watching it, we're just going, oh my God.
Yeah, it's when I think he's at his best. I really do. Yeah. I think when he has all these people and he has to think of how to squeeze so much information and still make it all about love. You know what I mean? Because that's what I think the show's about. I don't care what I don't even care what he thinks. The show's about love.
Well, he's said that on many occasions. It's a romance and it's a poetry, an ode, so to speak, to news.
Yeah.
It happens to be in love in all its forms. It just happens to be in the newsroom.
And all the different relationships that go into it. I mean, think about these people that are constantly at this one place all hours of the day and night because of breaking news and all the different schedules and all of that. They don't really get to branch out very much into meeting new and other people. So there's
of course they date each other. Yeah, of course. That's real life.
It's absolutely real life.
Well, in addition to living out all your stress and everything else that's going on in your life through the job.
Yeah. Which is even more difficult.
The mind of Aaron Sorkin. That's amazing.
So I kind of derailed this a little bit in terms of talking about this episode, so I apologize. So let's get back to the episode.
Sorry.
No, that's my fault. That's my fault.
No, it's my fault.
I love Justified.
Wait, no, it's my fault. No, wait, it's my fault. No, wait.
It's everybody's fault. Okay, back. Come on, people.
Okay, back on track.
Back to the newsroom. Okay, so the election night coverage, we've got the discussion between the politics and the candidates and all of that. And I like that at first Will didn't want to have his personal politics brought up, and then all of a sudden toward the end now he wants to have game on. And I like that. I like that he kind of tries to be a little, how do I want to say it? When he talks about personal politics, he doesn't really like to get into it and really make it focused about him. He admits to being a Republican and all of that, but he still likes to keep it open and be kind of nonpartisan.
Well, no news person wants to be the story.
Right.
They don't want to be the story, but now he knows he's going to have to go after David Petraeus in his personal life, so okay, hit me first.
Goes,
So then I have room to.
I also, just, to go back to love, if you see what made him make that decision is he gets lambasted by the woman of his dreams, and she's like, all you care about is your personal image. And then he goes, you know what? I'm going to prove to her that I like
about
her
my
more
image.
than, you know what I mean, my image. And that, you know, again, about love.
And I think that's kind of what he's been doing since, you know, even in season 1, even when he was trying to fight it, proving to her that he's not this person, or he wants to be this better person for her. It kind of goes back and forth, but it's all kind of circled around her.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But he still can't get away from the dials and the focus groups and things like that.
No.
I mean, but it's, you know, I don't know, if your whole legacy is built on that.
I mean,
you
that's
know.
what I think it's great. He's so conflicted about it.
Yeah.
I mean, on one hand, it's the head and the heart thing. That's what it's always about for them.
And how great was it for Sloan to kind of stick up for him?
Horrible. That was horrible.
That was
great
kind of
way.
brilliant.
Well, he did talk about a Democrat, but it was a totally not true story.
Made up story.
Yeah.
Beat.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
Wow.
Oh, there's so many of those moments in this episode. So good.
So
I thought
good.
that was great because the flow was really good. They were having the banter, and she jumps
And then
in
the train
to save
wreck.
him.
Then the train wreck.
He's like, oh, my God.
That should be like,
Wow.
in parentheses, her character name. Sloan
Yeah,
7.
exactly.
Yeah,
the train.
Absolutely.
She's a social train wreck.
She's so good at it. She's
Yeah.
so good at it.
Yeah.
I love that about her. And even when they're in the green room and they're talking and she wants to jump in the conversation when Maggie comes in to talk to Taylor, and she's like, yes, tell me too, girlfriend. And Elliot's like, stop trying so hard to have female
You don't need every female friend in the world.
And one of the things I loved about how he writes that character is you can see her heading for the train wreck way before she sees it. And you just keep going. She's not gonna hit that. She's not gonna collide
Is
again.
that gonna happen? Is it
Okay, she did.
It
Yeah,
happened.
she's doomed.
Yeah,
she's
There it
doomed.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time. I mean, the whole book signing thing. I'm going, just let it go, because nothing good is going to come of that.
And it was all your fault. How did you not know German?
A person just has to help out.
That's right.
Had she done her job in the first place and signed the book, Gary wouldn't have had to help
So
out.
what was your thinking? What was your thought behind how much German you knew?
Gary Cooper can speak German.
Oh, yeah?
As far as he knows.
He just can't write it.
Yeah, he can't write it. Maybe can't read it, but he can speak a little bit of it. Enough to write.
And
You can
what
shred
was
this
the
book.
Please shred this
inspiration to
book.
even write a German phrase in the first place?
Because a German person bought it.
Yeah.
Bought the book. And it was awesome. That day on set, there was this awesome, I can't remember her name, but in the credits, I'm sure to say, there was awesome translator, this young lady who was teaching us how to say it, and me and Dev just
Destroyed it, butchered it.
hours.
Oh,
I mean,
hours,
you
okay.
would be surprised at what two people can't do.
Can you do it for us here? Do you remember it?
No, because it went in and out
Okay,
every
of course.
single time she said it, and we were like, "This is what we get paid for, right? Why can't we not get this right?" Like we locked her in, the room where they were doing the election
God.
coverage, where David walked in. They literally said, "You guys just go in there with her for a while and just listen.
Right.
Will you just listen to what she's saying?"
And you've been on Broadway, right?
Oh yeah, that's you think I know how to speak words, having been on Broadway.
You've memorized the whole plays with the dialogue.
Whole plays. For some reason,
that was
when they're not in, well, that's not true. I've spoken other languages
Yeah,
too.
there you
It's
go.
just that
You have
German.
No excuse.
Just
Is
that
that what
German.
you're saying?
Oh, shameful. It's shameful.
Yeah.
Well, it is, it's a hard language. It's not very fun sometimes, depending on what the words are.
What are you saving it for? Look at him.
No, I like the saving. Saving. That's because I'm replacing someone. You have to be nice to
We
me.
have to get him here.
So you want to keep your job here at AfterBuzz.
I know. It's like making me all flustered and nervous. I can't. All right, so what about these resignation letters? Everybody still wants to resign. Charlie, Will, Mac definitely wants to get fired. She's feeling the brunt of all of this on her. She feels really guilty.
Yeah.
And for the most part, she's waiting for Will to react.
Yeah, like she said, he's waiting for the bomb to detonate.
Yeah, she's waiting for him to punish her, as she calls it, like he did for her cheating. Which that was a very interesting scene for me, just her version of it versus his. And I thought it very interesting because his was a little bit more, it was much more sensitive than just being mad. And I didn't really expect that from his character that much.
But that's kind of where it's been even in season 1. They were definitely at odds about what the story was between the two of them.
The story of their breaking up.
And love.
And love. It's always about love.
It is always about love. And so, it was really interesting to come back to it and see them, bring it up again, and like you say, see their differing points on it. One of the things that I thought was really interesting about this episode, and maybe it's because I'm not seeing the whole picture yet, because it is part 1 of 3. I think.
Two.
Election night is 3. Oh, it's 2. Okay. But you know, the opening where everyone's trying to push and sell their resignations, they're being very cavalier about it, you know, joking about it, and, you know, and it's going back and forth. And even Will through the entire thing, I'm the morale, I'm in charge of morale, you know? And, I mean, where is that coming from, do you guys think? I mean, is it that he's genuinely terrified and mortified at what happened and is trying to cover it up, or does he think it's all going to work out?
Oh, I don't think he thinks it's going to work out. In some respects, part of him probably thinks it's a fait accompli. I'm going to have to resign anyway, so this is all window dressing. I'm just going to get through the election. At some point, we're going to have to figure this out. Because I don't think he thinks there's a future for them. I think he believes, like Charlie believes, like
that it's going to bring down the network.
Well, yeah, and he's being very present moment. Like he says to Mackenzie, he says, "Hey, let's deal with what's in the room. This is what we can deal with right now.
We can't do it. That'll handle itself because it's going to.
Yeah, we're doomed. We did the wrong thing.
Exactly.
Right.
It's going to happen.
Let's just do the best we can and get out of here with our heads up. Is what I think. I think that's what everyone's thinking, you know. Yeah. But on the inside, it's a time bomb. You know, they're all, you know. Like, I mean, not him. Obviously, he's the most calm one, but everybody else is literally.
But don't you think underneath that at some point he will explode on?
Yes.
He will go crazy.
Absolutely, I think he will. Do you?
I don't think so.
Really?
I think, but out of everything that's happened from when Mackenzie came back and all that he's dealt with going through season 1 and into this, and even when we go back to even the start of Genoa and the red teams and all, he didn't really have an opinion about it. He didn't really get into it. He trusted them, and he's taken responsibility now, I think, for that, and just saying, okay, this is what we did. We all decided on it. This was a group effort. We had what we thought were the facts. And
I don't think that's what he's going to be upset about. I think he's still so wounded by what happened between he and Mac that at some point that's going to find its way out. He's doing a great job of holding it in, but at some point I think he is going to go crazy.
Well, and I think I think he's a man with a conscience, and so I don't think that he can just sort of move on to the next thing.
No, and I don't think that, but I think that he's taking responsibility for it, and it's really not something. In his mind, everything that they had was true. They didn't doctor the film. To their knowledge, they thought they were reporting the truth.
Right.
And the top 3 people all agreed on that, but it wasn't. They didn't. They went back, had to apologize for it, but he's still taking responsibility for it. I think the thing that's going to be the worst for him, like you said, is the relationship, because we even saw that a little bit when he's, emphasizing, I was a good guy. I was a great boyfriend. How dare you think this of me?
Exactly, and how long you've been thinking it. That's what I'm saying. That was just a little taste of how wounded he is and how scarred he was by the experience. I think that's much deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think you watch the arc from season 1 to season 2, his reaction to this same story, and it's Aaron Sorkin's very good at his job. It's changing. It's like in this episode specifically, it's just like, all right, you get what you want. Usually she's butting up against the wall, and this one he was like, you're fired. If that's what you want, you're fired. He's leading the whole team, which Jeff does at work anyway. I mean, like, it's art imitating life.
Oh, we should talk more about that.
Yes, we should.
About what? Jeff being the most amazing person ever?
Yeah, what's
Jeff,
it like?
let me tell you. It's like everybody. Let me tell you. I remember our first day getting there. One, I was nervous, but I was very excited because it's a lot of theater people. Like I think the only people that haven't done theater are Dev and Olivia, and everyone else has been on Broadway, been nominated for Tonys, won Tonys, and so I was like, oh, these are like my people. Phew. And then, but it's also people who are very grateful to be at work, and Jeff is first among them. Like when there are days of like when he has 4 or 5 pages, which doesn't happen in TV. Right. You know what I mean? It's like he has 4 or 5 pages, and he knows it all. He doesn't. There's never a problem, and that trickles all the way down. There is literally never a problem. If there's a problem, it's because a light went out. You know what I mean? And it's. I think when the best people hire the best people, there are very few worries.
Yeah.
And that's the funny thing also about the show, because down to number 32 on the call sheet, you have people who've been on Broadway and have their own shows but they don't talk a lot. You know what I mean? But it's because they filled the cast with people they trusted to do the job given them. And so, like, you have Wynn, who booked her own TV show this past season, who doesn't say a whole lot on the show, but she's so good at her job, and they know it, and they trust her, and everybody plays their part and knows their part, which is also interesting, because you think everybody be like, man, this stinks. What am I doing here? I don't ever get to talk. This is boring. But everybody's like, it's all for the greater good, which, again, trickles down from the top, I think. And they hired people that, believe in kind of the common goal of creating and collaborating together, I think.
whatever.
Boring teamwork. Where's the drama?
Well, what about like guest stars that come in? Like, how does that feel? Is it always very inviting? Does anybody ever have an issue? Is it hard for anyone to learn kind of like the long dialogue because it's different? Has there?
I think there's been probably one time where I mean, but it happens to everybody anywhere. There is a day that your tongue is not working, you know, and it's unfortunate if it's on a show like ours because everybody's tongue works really well on that show. And it's probably happened one or two times, but it's not the person or their learning ability. It's just that day that an actor has when it's like, man, I can't get it. I can't. It's
remember that German language.
Yeah, I mean, I remember an episode in the first season where I had 3 things to say, and it became the biggest thing. It was Alex Graves directing, and he was over it, but I was like, it doesn't make sense to me. I can't say this. And he was like on to 10 other things, and I was like, excuse me, I'm gonna go talk to Alex. I just really need to. And they're like, what, Alex? Chris really needs to talk to you. And I was like, Alex, when I stand to the left, is it that's when I say it? And he's like, yes. Chris, it's like, just wanted to get it right. Just wanted to get, I mean, like, it's weird. It's like such high stakes so that when the cameras are on, we do it very efficiently. Sure. So if someone does it, but people aren't used to also, sometimes, you don't always come on a set that's as welcoming as ours. But there's also big time people that we have as guest stars. Like Chris Messina's amazing. He's from theater as well. I knew him back in the day. But it's just an amazing group of people coming in, and they bring high quality work. And so even if we were jerks, which we're not, you can't deny talent, you know?
No, I loved seeing it, and it looks so flawless and effortless when everybody's in, and it just kind of seems to mesh so well. It's nice to hear that.
Because setting that bar that high, that certainly shows, because you can see it on the screen when you're watching.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure Aaron gave some pep talk at the beginning of the first season that was like, hey, everybody expects us to be awesome, so let's do it. Like, those are his pep talks.
His little pep talk.
He's like, just do your job, and we're going to be great, because I hired awesome people.
Yeah,
and,
no pressure.
Can I go? Which character is most like Aaron?
Oh, I think all of us are kind of like Aaron.
Okay, there's not
little
one
bits of him.
Yeah, no, I think as you get to know Aaron, as much as you get to know him, you see, oh, that seems like Aaron a little bit. And then, but how can you not when you're the sole writer of the show?
Is he on set?
Every single day.
Oh.
Every single day.
Wow.
It's pretty remarkable that a person can be on the set every day at the beginning of he's at least at the directing of every rehearsal. And then he's also writing the next, 1, 2, 3, 4 episodes. Yeah. So we always applaud him for that. I mean, he beats himself up, but that's what you get for being brilliant.
Should.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what you get for being so good at your job.
I know.
Feel bad.
Do it better next time.
Yeah. No, but he's always there, and it's always supportive. There's never been a threat or a negative thing, and it's weird now that I'm saying it. Yeah, it's always super supportive.
Mm-hmm. Well, who wants to work in that?
I mean, I'm sure I don't know. I'm lucky. I'm blessed to have been on shows where it's always been awesome and supportive. But I've definitely heard stories where it's like you go on set and someone's a diva or luckily nothing I've been on been like that. Everybody's just been happy to be working on it. Yeah, no, let's not for that one.
Yeah.
His next show, he was the diva.
Well, did Aaron send you his headshot before everything started so you could look and know?
That's so funny. Did you know that story?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I heard
Let
that.
everybody know.
He didn't send it. Someone, as a joke, in our very first gift bag, put his headshot in there with like an ACN hat and something, and put his headshot. And as he opened and said, "We gotta." Who did this? But it was very funny. It was very It's on someone's fridge. I think it's on Margaret's fridge. Maybe.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's funny. I had heard it like it was a joke that they had put it in there and was like, you need to look at this every time you're reading the script and know this is what you're working toward.
Like, are you okay with that?
That's funny. But even Chris Messina's character tonight, Reese, he's always kind of the bad guy, and hearing his little monologue was really funny.
Oh my
and
God, that was hilarious.
I loved it. It was probably one of my favorite parts tonight when Charlie went to him and was begging him to convince, to accept his resignation. I'm sorry, and he agrees and says, "Yes, I think we absolutely should. We should write the check and move on with it." He's like, "Okay, well, why don't you?" Because my mom said I can't.
my mom won't.
My mom won't let me.
That's it, right there.
And then he goes off into this tangent. She wants grandkids. She asked me if I was gay, and all of these things, and just like him mumbling and rambling about it. I just thought was really funny and a little bit vulnerable to his character that we really don't see, and I liked that. And I liked that Rebecca was there to listen in and get paid for that conversation too.
Yeah.
She was pretty funny tonight too.
She's pretty great. Yeah.
I love Marcia Gay.
She's pretty great.
Fantastic.
So she seems like she's a lot of fun. I mean, I don't want to.
Literally everybody is so relaxed. You walk in the makeup trailer and everybody's so relaxed. Everybody's just having fun. We all joke. Everybody's connected. Like Constance is amazing.
Yeah.
Taylor, I mean, literally amazing. Like, just it sounds like I'm like full of the show, but like I get mad at the show too, guys. but like the people you can't say a bad thing about anybody who works on that show. You can, but you'd be a liar.
So do you guys prank each other at all? Any kind of thing like that? It doesn't seem like a show where pranks are very popular.
No, we don't prank, but what we do have is I lead the freestyle rap group.
Really?
Dev is a huge participant.
Nice.
We try to get Adina does not do that because she's the only adult on set. But yeah, so on days when like Jeff's doing his whole broadcast, we don't necessarily have to be in the background those days. And so we'll go outside. We had a pull-up contest first season.
Nice. Who won?
Plank contest. Thomas Matthews won, which surprised us all. We were like, and he's like, I do yoga. And we were like, don't do that. Don't do that. But yeah, and we I don't know. We just have so much fun, and it seems like but we don't have a good gag reel because people don't mess up.
Right.
Yeah, it's like first and second season's gag reel is probably together.
Pretty boring, huh?
About a minute and a half long because, nobody really messes up.
Because you don't want to be the one who does,
Because you don't want to, not because
Yeah.
we're awesome, but because we're scared. No.
You don't want to get that.
I saw that headshot. I saw that headshot.
Yeah, you have the headshot next to you. I dare you to mess up.
Not gonna happen.
Go ahead.
No, but I think it speaks to just the professionalism of everybody. I don't think we do prank though.
No.
That's
I don't know,
something.
but I'd love to hear the freestyle. That
I know.
would
Are
be
you going to give us a little taste of some freestyle?
What I've been told about on freestyle is that it's too crass. So I don't want to do that to AfterBuzz TV.
Okay.
And I don't think you want me to do that to you. My rap nickname is Sweaty Butcher, so I don't think you're ready for that.
We'll put him in the confessional before we leave.
Before you leave, we're going to get a little snippet.
Oh,
'cause
goodness gracious.
It's red velvet. You can do anything you want in the
in that
confessional.
room.
We'll see.
saying.
We'll see.
I'm getting the vapors.
So what about these control issues with Mackenzie and her Wikipedia page?
Well, I love
my God.
Yeah, Mackenzie. I mean, the whole thing that Dev says to her about it's funny. What was his line? It's how funny it is, things people try to control and they don't have any control.
And it's just, I wasn't listening to you.
it's completely,
Here's another one of those things.
Change my Wikipedia page.
I think it's beautiful though because she feels like everything's so out of control.
Yeah.
And she's like, this simple thing.
It should be able to easy fix.
This
How
easy fix.
this?
Yeah.
It's an email.
But isn't that great? I didn't know that about Wikipedia. You can't even get first-hand sources. What?
That's
Yeah.
I think that was in there for a reason.
Of course, I'm sure it was.
As everything is,
So
that's in there
never
for a
believe
reason.
the Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
Basically, that was the underlying
Aaron
thing of
has
that.
had a few things to say about Wikipedia and other shows in the past. I do recall. So
I mean,
that's
it's-
pretty funny.
I can't disagree with whatever his opinions might be. I mean, it's weird. You can't put your own information. Like, I know better than anyone what I've done.
Right.
Oh, but you should tell me. You should tell me more about Chris Jock.
Right.
That's interesting. No, that's funny. But the way that she harps on it, and she's definitely going through a lot. And poor Neil, he always gets he always gets bullied all the time. It's either Sampan or Neil, get in here. Somebody's always like
He's so good
on
at
him about
handling it,
something.
though,
I know,
isn't he?
but he's handling everybody else's insecurities about whatever. It's like, give the man a break.
He's
Let him do
probably
his
the strongest person in the room because
Exactly.
he handles everybody else's
Yes.
stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely, it's so
Okay.
funny.
I love when he has his. Is there any way I can get out of here? Can I just? Can I just leave now?
No.
No.
Okay.
They never let him off. They never give him a break.
No.
Poor guy. I feel bad for him. I do. I feel bad for him. But Sloan's worse because she's the nut brain.
Neurotic about it.
Yeah. So, I just can't. I'm sorry. I'm going back to it. I can't believe that that's the way she decided she should save Will.
Tell me what you mean.
Well, when
She talks about
Constance,
Genoa?
when Taylor
About Genoa.
starts, yeah, exactly. When
During the election
I'm just
coverage.
going, oh my God, she's.
I'm going to defend him.
Because her character is so bright and so stupid at the same time. And it's like, how do you write those two things? And that's, I just think it's great, wonderfully textured. So.
And then the engineer and a conductor and a gay guy.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. That was so good. She's like, I'm
And
so gonna prove my worth on this show today.
I'm gonna own you out there.
Yeah, and then she's like, "There's a gay guy in the Klan." No.
Or his dad was in the Klan.
Yeah, or his dad was in the Klan. She's like, "No, no,
wait.
that's not it."
Wait, so who was the gay guy and the conductor? Elliot? No.
Nothing.
No.
What were you saying, Taylor? Yeah.
That was great.
Nothing.
Do you guys do table reads? Or
Oh yeah.
you do?
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
best.
So
Our
is that
table
when you
read-
get to have fun with it and just because is that the first time you get them when you do the table read? Or do you
No,
have-
we usually get them before. Sometimes it's only like 24 hours before, but
Okay.
we get a version of it before, and sometimes he edits it, and we get a newer version on that table read day. Most of the table reads, I mean, all the table reads are awesome because they introduce the new people, we celebrate people, welcome
Yeah.
people, and again, it's they lead a really nice ship, and but sometimes what he'll do, because it's underscore. I mean, like the music is pretty darn good in the show, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when he has his idea of a song he wants to play,
That's playing with you.
it'll play. He'll be like,
Oh, wow.
he'll stop. It's really cool. It seems really dramatic, but it really works most of the
No.
time. And he'll just be like, this is what's going to play under this. So I want
Yeah.
you to listen to this first, just to get
Absolutely.
the mood.
Yeah.
And then we'll go.
Right,
And he'll
that's
play
the
it. And we'll
tone.
all
it
listen.
gives you a direction where you're headed.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
what
I
we're
think
going
it's
for.
I think it's so good. I think
love
it's so
that.
fun. Yeah, I like our table reads. I like that there are table reads.
Yeah, 'cause you don't always
there
get
aren't
those.
always table
Yeah.
reads, and it helps him a lot. And then HBO gets to hear it, and so then begins the episode, and then we know there's another episode too.
So how long before after the table read? I mean, you shooting the next day? Or
Sometimes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
it's that
Sometimes
quick.
the next
Wow.
day. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, it's an organized ship.
So yeah, but not a lot of time for rewriting if that because you hear it at the table read.
I imagine. I mean, I don't know what that conversation is. You know,
Okay.
that's a Aaron and first
Sure,
AD
of
and
course.
director conversation. But I'm sure they know what he might want. But he doesn't. I mean, there's not a lot of rewrites.
Right,
We
okay.
get it pretty much done.
that's it.
Pretty much done. And if there's something different or new, we get enough time with it. I think that when what's her name, the lady who's calling the races, I think that was a closer race than he realized. Like obviously we know the news, but
Right.
then and he was like, I didn't mean to get one that was so close, like that they shouldn't have called, So like, but that soup that rarely ever happens that the facts are that close, but he pretty much does all the work so that then we can do our job, which is kind of great. It's kind of more than kind of great.
That is great. So I like how Charlie's running up and down the newsroom with this sanitation application and the test that you take to work for the sanitation department. If anybody, the first person to mess up, that's where you're going.
But so far, we're good.
Yep, so far so good. And there is that little mess up that you just mentioned, but luckily they didn't have to
Yeah, they
retract
just kind of
it. They just
move it to the
swept over
side.
it.
Move to the side. Nobody wants to work
Yeah.
in sanitation if they have a journalism degree.
Absolutely not. Not.
so-
And then we find out that there's a new lawsuit that Jerry Dantana is throwing out. The new $20 million lawsuit for a bad reference that Don gave him for a job at Kickstarter.
Yeah. All because you used the word sociopath.
But that is very calculated, and I think it's brilliant on Jerry Dantana's part. He knows he's never going to get another credible job ever, so he's got to get money somehow.
It's a smart thing to do, and
He will in sanitation, though. He'll get it.
yeah, he can, and
Yes.
Charlie has the application. But no, I think he knows Don Kiefer's temper.
Yeah.
And so you do that, and I'm gonna take a second to celebrate Thomas Sadowski.
Okay.
Love him.
He's great.
Literally one of my favorite people on earth, and I love him on the show.
Oh, wow.
I'm just saying it.
Oh, go ahead.
You gave me a microphone. I can say what I want to
Expand
say.
on
It's
that.
really
No, I mean it's it's the same trickle down effect. He is so excited to come to work. He is so excited to be at work. We have dinner and game nights at his house. No, we hang out as a cast. We're like a family. One of our
can't imagine,
ADs hosted a birthday. Him and
Don
Jeff
hosting
came.
a game night.
Him and his wife. They're just like the nicest people ever. And
awesome.
so I celebrate my friends.
Well, that's amazing. And well, it's funny is last season, he's really kind of the bad guy. He was so mean to Maggie, and just like the way that whole thing went out. And I know we used to talk about it last season a lot. How it's like, it's always like Maggie and Jim. Like, why is Don such? Why is he that way?
Why does Don want his girlfriend to be loyal? What is he thinking?
Why is he mean? Why is he mean about it though?
Why is he mean about his girlfriend flirting with another guy? Stupid Don.
Maybe if he paid attention to her, she wouldn't. How about that?
Oh wow. Holy smokes.
It got pretty heated last season about that. But what's funny is that this season you find out why he was that way, and this whole other layer to his character, which I thought, and the way that he actually portrays it and all that is amazing, because we all found ourselves changing our opinions and really growing to like him and seeing this different side.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so great just on his part and the way that he does it, because it's very rare that you can go to really disliking someone and then just within one season changing your opinion.
Yeah.
And I thought that was
I think
great.
that's being handled really well. I mean, it's the same thing I think you said earlier. We're seeing so many different layers to each of these characters. And this episode alone. Sorry, you said that. You didn't say that.
Whatever.
You said that
Good job, John.
Maggie's justified in cheating. That's what I think I heard you say.
I think we could play the tape back.
Pretty sure that's what you said.
No, I said he didn't have to be so mean to make her think she wanted to cheat. How about that?
Okay.
I think this is where we start checking out. I think. And we can just stay here and do the
Floor
rest.
is yours, Chris.
Yes, now my new job.
Oh my gosh. So, what else do we have going on in this episode?
You didn't mention liquid sex at all.
Well,
I mean, we talked about Marcia
because I thought we were
going to
get to our Sorkinisms, and that was one of mine. So I just, she's Marcia Gay. She's liquid sex.
This is me who hasn't been on this panel before and didn't know there were Sorkinisms. Sorry.
I don't know. Do we still do that?
Yeah, we still do it.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
absolutely. So that's yours. Okay.
Well, no, I have another one that I like, which was Don's, which is you are a member of a godless, soulless race of extortionists.
Oh my God, that
Speaking
was
of a
my
lawyer,
favorite of the show.
Speaking of liquid sex, yeah. So
and I
there you
like
go.
how she says, that's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
That and my last one, which we've already talked about, is you're paying me for listening to
Yes.
this conversation.
Yes.
So
Well,
all
but
mine
also
had to do with
just that's fair would actually not trigger a lawsuit because he didn't use the word sociopath. Just saying.
Okay.
If he'd used that in a job reference, he
Yeah.
would have gotten away with it.
Now, do you have a Sorkinism?
I do. I said mine before already. I said just be less desperate for female friends.
Oh, yeah,
I thought that was pretty
definitely.
funny. And then my mom said I can't.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
My mom
Why
says I
not? My mom said I
can't.
can't.
Yeah.
How to
Just the way he
encapsulate
says
a
it.
character in one line. My mom said I can't.
Yeah. Because he's like this, tough executive that, really, and then he's just like, well, my mom says I can't. And it's just great. I thought it was funny.
End of
Perfect.
conversation.
Yep.
That's all it is.
What's yours?
I don't have one. I didn't know I was. I didn't know.
Oh, I didn't know, but I had one.
Yeah, see.
It's my first time. Just say my mom said I can't. Yours too.
Now under the bus. Damn it.
Do what I did and say me too, what you said.
People have been incarcerated for smaller mistakes.
Boom.
There you go.
Boom.
Bang.
That's
I did
that's
right.
it.
Way to go.
Just like that.
Perfect. Well, tell us more about you. What do you have coming up
Me.
next?
Oh, I love
And-
talking about me. This is my
Yes.
favorite topic. Best thing that's happening right now, 12 Years a Slave, October 18th. It's been really well received out everywhere at the film festivals. It is, my manager and I, we saw it and we couldn't even speak afterwards.
Really?
Because, not only because it's heavy, but because it's brilliant. Because it talks about something that we don't talk about in our country right now, which is, race and slavery. We know it's like, oh, that happened. Let's just...
Can we talk about something else?
Yeah, exactly. But that's what it seems like,
Yeah.
There are movies that either have to make it a joke or a musical, but this is the most honest portrayal of something, that I've seen, especially slavery, and we watched it, and it's brilliant. And that's, I know we use that word a lot, but it really is the scope of it, the work in it, and everybody did it, for love, and Hans Zimmer did it for pennies, the music for pennies, you know what I mean? And it's we all did it for pennies. And but
That speaks volumes right there.
the payoff, when we sat there and watched it, was it was just a breathtaking experience. It took us so long to actually be able to discuss it, like after we walked and we both, tears in our eyes, both weeping during the whole thing, which is not to deter you from seeing it. It's it's like a catharsis. It's like,
it would have to be.
Yeah.
But you obviously felt something when you read the script. That's obviously why you did.
Oh yeah, of course. The script is brilliant.
Going from where you were when you first read it, and you had that experience, and then when you saw that experience, just talk to me about how different that was, or how much more compelling it was, or interesting. Because one thing is to read it and have an experience when you read it. It's another thing to see it and be there. And
yeah, like when you read it as an actor, you're directing it, right? You're directing in your brain. But then when Steve McQueen directs it, and you watch it, you go, oh. And even that's another one though. That's another one. First day we had this beautiful dinner, or my first day on set. I think they were on like day 20 of 35. Like they were shot it so fast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was filmed very, very fast. Jeez. And again, but when you get good people to do the job, like look at that cast. Me and those other guys.
And exactly, that's all we know.
But no, seriously, it's like such a cast of great workers, and you'll see these. I'm telling you, you're gonna see these people do things that you're gonna a little bit be like, but they're so good and so committed, and it's because Steve ran such a comfortable and open set and honest and loving and generous set, so we felt comfortable going where we had to go to talk about something nobody wants to talk about, you know what I mean? And that is to speak to Steve McQueen's genius. I love my friends.
As you should. Can you tell us a little bit about your character?
Yes, Clemens Ray. I guess I can tell you. He is not supposed to be where he's at. He gets captured unjustifiably, and as does our lead.
Right.
And they are on their journey together. The movie, I try to, when people talk about it, it's split up into so many parts. You've seen the cast list. It's gigantic. And it's, if it might be in 96 pieces. I don't know. And so I'd say for the first 18, we deal with, if you've seen the trailer, I think my line to him is, keep your head down. That's what I'm trying to lead him towards living, making this slavery thing livable. Don't let anybody know you're smart and that you can read, because you'll get killed, because that's the way it was, which is not good.
Yeah.
Now we're all depressed. Oh my God.
Well, one of the things that I was actually talking to a friend about this morning. She said, all people are saying is just close all the nominations. It's over. It's done. This is the movie. And the struggle. She and I are both sort of tender-hearted people, and the wrongful imprisonment or innocent man wrongly accused, that kind of movie is one that I really.
And then add to
don't go to
slavery.
And all the others. And so she says to me, she goes, I know this is a movie we would never see, but we have to go see it. And I was like, okay, we're going to do it.
It's true. This is, they're very different things, but like Fruitvale Station, my mother's like, I don't want to see that because it's bad. I'm like, no, we need to see these things that happened in real life so that we can keep them from happening. And this conversation on slavery, I think everybody needs to see it, because it happened in real life, and it still affects every single thing we do today, even though we pretend it doesn't. And what I guess this entire company, this cast from top to bottom, this crew has created, maybe a dialogue that,
Well, even Aaron was talking about that was it the last episode? Was it Red Team, or was it the previous episode prior to that, I should say?
Tell me.
Well, because Mac's talking to Dawn in the bar, and she's talking about wounds, sins that you commit that you can't undo, and she's talking about slavery, 300 years, and we still haven't dealt with it.
Yeah, and and I'm excited. And that's probably the thing I'm most excited about, because it means it's more than a movie. It's more than a TV show. It's more than a gig. It's like an experience. It's like something that you can look back on and go, oh, this is important. And I love my job. My job is my favorite thing. I love it. There's probably not a person on earth that likes acting more than I do. And this is beyond that. This is, people who don't like movies will like this movie. People who don't like acting will like this movie, because it's just important,
And when does it come out again?
October 18th.
Where? Everywhere, right?
Nationwide.
Nationwide.
It's a wide release, right? Yeah.
Nationwide.
Just wanted to get that out there again.
Yeah. October 18th, 12 Years a Slave. I hope that's the camera I'm supposed to look at.
You're gonna get him.
Anyway,
We've got a lot of them. We got a lot of them.
So, if people want to find you anywhere, do you have a Tumblr page?
I do not. I have a Tumblr page. I don't use my Tumblr page.
No, just your Twitter?
It's kind of, yeah, Twitter is the best place to find me because I kind of stopped doing social network. I'm going to tell you why.
Oh, please.
I was doing the Facebook.com, right?
Yeah.
And I quit it once. And I was like, I'm done with the Facebook.com because some rando cousin, somebody's like, I know Victor who knows Sarah who knows Elizabeth, and I'm your cousin. Times are hard over here in Germany. What? I don't know you. And so I was like, I'm going to quit the Facebook. My mom said, come back to the Facebook because you don't call enough. And that's how I know it's going on. That's a lie. I come on there every day. I know you making me feel bad.
I didn't say anything.
And then it's similar things just happen. And also it's just a lot to keep up with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so,
is it pretty
And your
much just
Twitter handle is?
I stick to the Twitter, Chalk Chris. Everything is Chalk Chris. I
Do you
can't believe,
Instagram?
no. I do Instagram. It's my name is Chalk Chris. No, my name is Chris Chalk.
Yeah.
And I have an awesome Instagram because I take pictures. I have my name is Chris Chalk. I'm gonna let her write that down.
Yeah.
No, but I have a very fancy pants camera. It's not. I don't do that iPhone only stuff. I use my fancy pants camera and take fancy pants pictures.
Very nice.
But then sometimes I do the boring stuff too, like look, a cup. And it's like, oh,
Do you,
I already
do you
about your cup.
Instagram your food? Is that what you do? Are you one of those?
Perfect.
Only if I cook something awesome, because I cook a lot too. I bake, I cook.
Very nice.
And so sometimes I won't give you the recipe. Some people are generous and give out recipes. I'm not giving you a recipe. You know how hard I worked on that recipe? You don't
don't
get
give
my
recipes
recipe. When I
either,
write the book, you can have the recipe.
Okay.
When you pay
I do give out my
$34.95.
recipes
Do you?
all the
Tamara
time.
does.
No, I
Tamara
don't
does
do it.
all the time.
TamaraCentral.com. You can find them all right there.
Is it really TamaraCentral.com?
Yes.
That's a heck of a plug.
It is.
You know where you can find me? TamaraCentral.com.
You can.
You can find me on TamaraCentral.com.
I want to talk Jets real quick. We
I was
get played
gonna
out
say,
here.
he actually
We gotta
tweeted
get-
it.
Yeah.
He tweeted
Oh, Jets,
something
go
about the
Jets.
Yeah. What else? What do you want to say about the Jets? Come
I
on,
think the
longtime
Jets,
fan.
you know, I'm a little.
For how long have you been a fan?
I've been a fan of the Jets since Curtis Martin went to the Jets.
Oh, okay.
Because
Great.
I'm a huge Curtis Martin fan because he played the game the way I like to do my job. It's like he respects it, he does it. He's not about frills, and you know but he constantly performs. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I love him because he's not in the end zone signing footballs.
Barry Sanders School. Nice.
You know, yeah, you do your job.
Yeah,
You do your
absolutely.
job.
Act like you've been there.
I'm a big act like you've been there, and so I've been his fan, and now it's really hard to stick with the Jets
Yeah.
because they're the complete opposite of that. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
and Curtis is not there as well.
And Curtis isn't there. Well, and no one's there.
Well,
but
So how are you feeling as a fan these days?
I'll tell you. Wait, you still don't know what happened in the game.
No, I know.
So I can't tell you how I feel as a fan.
cannot.
But I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling. But you should
Spoiler alert.
watch the whole game.
Of course I will.
It doesn't
I'm
happen
gonna watch
until the
game.
end of the game.
All right, I'll watch the game.
But I'm a big.
Whatever it is that happens.
Yeah. But my West Coast team, now that I live
that?
on the West Coast, are the 49ers.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah, that's my West Coast. I only
There
have
you
one
go.
hand.
There you
My
go.
West Coast team.
Yeah, that's our West Coast team.
49ers.
All right.
From San
all right.
Francisco, so there we go. All right, so Chalk Chris at
Chalk
Twitter.
Chris on Twitter, and my name is Chris Chalk.
on Instagram.
And on one of those, eventually I'll have a webpage, but I'll tell you what it is.
And October
on that.
18th.
October 18th, 12 Years a Slave.
Make sure you see it.
Watch Newsroom next week.
There you go.
Thank you so much for joining us and hanging out.
This is
It's been
awesome.
an
Thank you,
amazing
AFTERBUZZ
pleasure to have
TV.
you.
Thank you.
So, Newsroom got a season 3, so congratulations
Is
on
that
that.
official?
It's official. I heard it was official. Yes,
They don't
it's
even tell
official.
you?
I mean, be
Wow.
careful now.
Damn.
Until Aaron Sorkin says it, it's not
Okay,
official.
gotcha.
Well, he told me.
You need a second. You need
He
a
told
second
me
source
it's
on
okay that
that.
Maggie cheated.
You're not going to let me let that one.
Yeah.
That's not what I meant. Anyway, thank you guys so much
She
for
was
hanging
quoted out
with
of
us.
context.
I was totally quoted out of context. It's the
It's a
Genoa story all
It's
over
a
again.
it's a Genoa thing.
Totally.
Excellent.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Make sure to join us for next week. It's the season finale next week.
Oh, good gracious.
Yes, I can't.
We're coming
I
back,
can't, I can't.
no matter what.
Yes, and
Even
we'll
if
be
you don't
back.
want us.
And from what I
Chris
heard,
is coming because
Yeah,
he's
because
not
this is
He's
my
just
new
taking
job.
over.
Yeah,
Not getting over this
taking
In fact, just keep watching. I'll be here the next whatever the next show is. I'm here.
And make sure to follow us on AfterBuzz on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. Go to iTunes. Please download the podcast. It's free. Rate and comment. We love to hear what you guys think about the show. And you can always follow me on Twitter at Kellie with an IE 079.
Yeah, you can't follow me anywhere, so don't bother trying.
We need to get him on social media so you can
No,
follow AfterBuzz
we
TV.
don't. I'm at Tamara Berg, TamaraBerg on Twitter, and my website is what? TamaraCentral.com.
And there are recipes. It's also where you can find your latest information about me.
Exactly. Yes, it's gonna have its own tab on that on that website.
Chris Chalk News next to this carrot cake recipe.
We'll see you guys next week for the season finale of Newsroom.
See you next week.
Bye.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bye. See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.